Hello everybody and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today we're going to be making a build for Moze. This was going to be originally the character that I mained through Borderlands 3, but then Flak came out and well, it stole my heart. But I still have a thing for Moze and well, we're going to do another theory crafted build here going over this gal. And before I get into the video, I want to thank you all for watching the last one. I know I need to build up your trust a little bit here because, well, you know, I have a tendency of starting a project and then completely abandoning it for months on end. So, hey, I promise you all daily videos every day leading up to Borderlands 3, 10 a.m. CDT. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now, this build is going to be centering mostly around the shield. I want to have basically an impenetrable shield that never goes down, and when it does, I get it back instantly. So that's the whole thought process behind this build. Now, what we're going to want to do to start this off is we're going to put 5 points into armored infantry. This is going to give us a little bit of damage reduction as well as a little bit of gun damage. The damage reduction is the important part here because that obviously just overall increases the efficiency of our shield. Speaking of the efficiency of the shield, we're going to put 5 points into Vladov Ingenuity. This will give us 47% resistance to shock damage, which shock does double damage to shields, but with this it basically negates out, so you don't have to really worry too much about shock weapons, and the extra 30% shield on top of that is a nice little bonus. Now after going into that, we're going to go ahead and skip over Thin Red Line and go into Drowning in Brass. That way we can get a little more damage into this build, because now you're going to start wanting, you know, a little bit of help here. And what this is going to do is for every kill that we get, we're going to get a stack of Drowning in Brass, which will increase our damage by 20%. However, our fire rate will go down by 2.5%. However, it doesn't really matter because like 60% gun damage is way better than 7.5% fire rate anyway, so who really cares? Now with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and put 3 points into Thin Red Line. This is going to give us a whopping 60% extra maximum shield at the cost of 60% health. Now the idea behind this build is that our shield never really goes down to begin with, so anything that we can do to bolster that shield is going to be very nice. And that's actually going to synergize very well with Desperate Measures. We're going to go ahead and put 3 points into that. And what Desperate Measures does is that the lower our health, the higher our gun damage. And obviously 60% of that health is now gone because of Thin Red Line. And now the next thing we're going to want to go into is Phalanx Doctrine. What this does is that for every single kill that you get, you're going to get increased gun damage and maximum shield for every single kill, and that kill is going to last for 30 seconds. However, this thing has no limit on how many stacks you can get, so the faster you can run around and get your stacks, the better. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put a point into Tenacious Defense, which makes it whenever your shield is depleted, it will then instantly recharge 40% of it, as well as giving you 30% gun damage. So if your shield does go down, you instantly get it back, and you hit harder as well. And then finally, we're going to put 1 point into Force Feedback, which makes it whenever you get a critical kill, your shields start immediately recharging, which is very nice. Whenever you kill the last enemy in a certain area, you'll start recharging instantly, which will give you a couple seconds of regen before you get into the next scrap. So anyway, that's pretty much all the points that we're going to be putting in here. Next up, we're going to be going into Bottomless Mags. Now, for Bottomless Mags, what we're going to want to do is put 5 points into Match Set. What this will do is it will give us an extra 10 magazine for every single piece of equipped gear that we have that matches. And that's honestly very, very nice. I like it. So if you have 2 pieces of Vladov, you're going to be rocking with 20% extra magazine size and so on and so forth. The more you add, the better the bonus you're going to get. So this is kind of like an allegiance run in a sense with this build, but you only have to put in 2 pieces to get any sort of real effect out of this, so it's honestly very nice. But the real reason we're grabbing that is so that we can put 3 points into Stoke the Embers, which is going to give us an additional 30% incendiary damage, which is just a nice whopping amount of damage. In addition, we're going to go ahead and pick up the Salamander here, and we're going to then put 2 more points into Cloud of Lead, which is going to make every 7th shot not consume ammo, as well as it will give us a little bit of bonus incendiary damage. And then we're going to throw in Fuel Economy, which gives us movement speed and less fuel drain for the Salamander, which is a flamethrower, which is going to synergize with the Stoke the Embers. Now after we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and put 5 points into Scorching RPMs, and what that will do is that will give us an extra 20% critical hit damage as well as 15% fire rate. Remember how I said earlier we'd pick up a skill that negated the downside of drowning in brass, and this is it here. Then we're going to go ahead and put 1 point into Russian offensive, and that's going to make it so that we can sprint and shoot at the same time. The reason this is important is obviously it makes you go faster, because now you get to run around. You don't have to try and like wait and wait for enemies and things like that. You can just keep rushing straight at the enemy. And with Phalanx Doctrine, you're never going to have to worry about your shields going down. And that pretty much leaves you with 4 points to throw wherever you really want. These 4 points can really just be thrown anywhere in the build. I end up putting a couple extra points into the I put another point into experimental munitions for an extra 10% crit damage. Full can of whoop ass whenever you jump into the robot. Whenever you jump into the robot, you're going to get your shields recharged. And then finally, you can put the last 2 points into Cloud of Lead, so that way you don't have to reload as much. Again, the last couple of points are basically just thrown wherever you feel would benefit you. Now, for the guns, like we said, we're going to go ahead and rock the Salamander here for our left gun, but we don't want to be completely close range with that. We do want some options for the long range, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the Railgun into the second slot here. And then we're going to put Hell on Rails, which will sadly increase the fuel per shot. However, it will make the shot incendiary. Now, this is important because we've picked up a lot of synergy with incendiary. So we've got the Stoke the Embers, we've got the critical hit dealing extra fire damage, and then, we've got the Cloud of Lead, although... Oh no, actually, never mind. It will work with Iron Bear shots. Oh, hey, I forgot to mute that, and I'm going to keep it in the video because I use OBS and somebody subbed during this, and I'm professional. You know what? I'm keeping that in. Normally, I'd edit that out. I'm keeping it in because it kind of scared me a little bit. But anyway, that's the build that we're going to be shooting for here. The whole idea behind this build is that your shield never goes down, so you're going to want as high of a capacity as shield as possible, or you could also go for an absorption shield, so that way shots just have a chance to not break your shield at all. And as far as the different weapons that you can pick up, I don't really see a reason to get the grenade launcher. You could go into the minigun and make it so that way the minigun basically does a little bit more damage, and you can turn it into cryo rounds and have some combination between cryo and fire. But for the most part, I just wanted to stick with all the incendiary. So that, in a nutshell, is the build. It's pretty straightforward. In fact, the majority of the points end up going into the Shield of Retribution skill tree. There's also another build that I want to make for Moze, which is mostly going to be centered around the Bottomless Mags. Now, this one's a bit more of a glass cannon because that's going to be the whole idea behind this build, is that you never reload. You just keep firing your guns forever because, Forge is actually an amazing skill where 5% of your magazine is constantly regenerating. So the higher the mag, the better of effect you're going to get. And you basically just become a bullet hose, spraying as many bullets as you can at the enemy. So there's definitely some nice things that you can do with this one. So that'll probably be the next Moze build that I end up making. But let me know in the comment section below which character you would like to see next. We can either go with Amara, or we can go with Zane. I have a couple of things with Zane that I would love to try out. He's got a lot of different unique builds as well, going from the multiple action skills as well as the just full-on shield that you can carry with you. So there's that. And I haven't honestly had too much time to play with Amara yet, but hey, might actually mess around with Amara a little bit more once I go down to Gearbox HQ, which will be happening soon. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. And as always, I'm going to be putting a video up every single day at 10 a.m. CDT. Like I said, I know I gotta get your, what's the word I'm looking for? Trust. Yeah, I gotta get your trust that I'm actually gonna keep uploading. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, everybody. Bye-bye.